Hi and welcome to our live crafting. It is Thursday, nearly said Tuesday, Thursday the 29th of June 2023. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Jenny McCormack and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire here in the UK. If you're joining us live, do say hi. It's always lovely to know who's watching with us. And if you're watching on replay, whether that is hi Lynn, whether that is on Facebook or YouTube, and if you have any questions or comments, then don't hesitate to pop those in the comment section. Hi Carol. And hi to you Jeanette. I know you're normally watching on YouTube, so I'll say hi because I know you're not able to comment on YouTube. So this is very dangerous territory because I had a great idea earlier in the day to create a magic card, which I haven't done for ages, and I've been busy all day and I haven't had a chance to look up how I make them. So I've got a little bit of guesswork going on here, but I'm hoping that those of you that have done magic cards before are going to be able to help me out. So let me start by showing you what stamp we're going to use. So we have the Just My Type stamp set, which I've put down now and can't find. Okay, I put it somewhere. Here it is. It's hiding. So it's this one here, and this is the one that we've been using all week, so you'll see lots of different samples of those. And I had the idea to use the rainbow and to have it magically appeared coloured and uncoloured. Oh, hi Jeanette. Hi Nick, I hope you're well too. So it's called a magic card because it does exactly that. It magically colours in the image. Lovely to have you join us, Nick. It seems to have been ages since we've caught up. So I can remember how to create the base mechanism, so I'm going to start with that and then work backwards to work out how it's going to go on my card. So what you do really need is a stamp positioning tool, because what you want to be able to do is stamp something in the same place both on acetate and on plain card. So let me show you what we're trying to create, and then you'll see what I mean. So I did have a quick practice session literally 5 minutes ago. So what we're doing is we're creating a piece of acetate that has the stamped image on but not coloured, and then underneath we have the coloured version. Hope you can see that. A little bit small, but I just thought it'd be a little bit of fun. Okay, so what happens is you can place this behind an aperture that's got a piece of card behind it, and then if I lift this up, you'll see that it produces the coloured version. Hope you can see that. And then if I move it back down, you just get to see the white version. So there's the coloured version and there's the white version. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to recreate that bit, and then I'm going to work out how to put it on the card. Oh, summer holidays from school soon. Here they break up, Nick, on about the 20th of July. I don't know if it's the same for you or not. Okay, so I've got my little rainbow here, and I have a piece of card that I've just literally just put down. Can you see it? Yes, here it is. Okay, so I've already positioned this on my stamping platform, and I've got a piece of card. Now this measures 2.5 by 4, and only because I was thinking I wanted to put it on a note card. Because it's quite small, I didn't want a huge card to put it on. So I'm going to position this on there, just see where it, yeah, that's in the right place. And so I'm going to ink this up with, oh my goodness, last Friday. Oh my goodness, that's not right. Hi Kat, good evening to you. That is really early. Right, so I have Pebbled Path. So who amongst you has done a magic card? Because I might need some help here. It was probably a mistake, just sort of deciding that I could do it without really researching, but there we go. Okay, I've got a little bit of ink on there, just wipe that off. So I've got a piece of card, 2.5 by 4. Now I might need to cut that down, to be honest, I don't know. Oh, Carol's done one a long time ago, excellent. Okay, so that is on my card, and that's the one that I'm going to colour in. And then I've got a piece of acetate that's going to go on in the same position, and I'm going to stamp that with Stays On. Now I've already done that because I wanted to make sure this was dry, but you would need Stays On because you're working on acetate, and if you use our normal ink it will just rub off. So you can pretend that I've just done that bit, and with any luck those two should line up. Okay, you've got a bit to play with if they don't quite line up, but you want them to line up so you've got the two images like so. So this is the easy bit. Okay, so hi Carol, thanks for joining us. I wonder if you've done a magic card recently. Okay, so I'm just going to colour these in some nice bold colours. So let's just use Poppy Parade. Take my glasses off. So it's sort of rainbow colours. So I'm just going to do this really quickly, nothing complex. I'm not doing any shading or anything. Okay, so there's red. Let's add yellow. I've got, hopefully, in here, some Mango Melody left. The colour has retired, but I'm going to use up my blends pens. Okay, and I might put Orchid Oasis on there if I can see it. Yes. Hello Cassie. So I've got red, yellow and blue. Like so. Okay, so what I need to do is attach these two together. But you don't want them solidly stuck. All you want to be able to do is have them, what's the word? Like a hinge. That's what I'm thinking of, a hinge here. So you could use a little bit of narrow tape and then cover it up. But what I'm going to do is use a glue dot just to really hold it in place to get started. So I'm going to put a glue dot here, and I'm hoping that's fairly central on my panel, and then maybe move it up a little bit like so, and then this one on here, and the main thing is that they line up. So the image must line up even if this bit doesn't quite line up. Okay. And then I really want to create more of a hinge, so what I'm going to do is just punch out a piece of Poppy Parade card. I'm going to punch a 1-inch circle, fold it in half. Let's grab bone folder. These are always good for mail cards because they try and work out, always trying to work out how it's created. So what I'm going to do is put this on here. So not only does it cover up the glue dot, but it will act as a hinge. So I'm going to attach it to the front and to the back, but not sort of across the spine. And I think I will just use some seal for this. I don't like to use wet glue when I have acetate around, because I seem to manage to, if it goes over the acetate, you sort of had it really. Okay. Alright, so I've attached that to the front and to the back so that you've got this little hinge like so. You don't want it to come right the way up, it doesn't need to. You just need it to be able to go over a piece that's in between so that you can pull it up like so to reveal it. It's very clever, isn't it? Okay, so that's the easy bit. Now I'm going to work out how on earth I put it on the card, and you need an aperture for it to pop through. So I've created this little card. So the idea is, and I thought the circular aperture was going to work nicely with the rainbow. Okay, so what I need to do is first of all cut a little hole in here so that this slides in properly, and then that will become my mechanism. Hope you can see that. Hi cat. So I'm thinking what I might need to do is create a piece here that folds underneath, or just cut this down a little bit. So I might need to redo this bit because it was literally just grab a piece of card and see how I can put it together. And then I'm thinking what I could do is create a bigger aperture in here and put all of this behind, so that you don't see all the gubbins, and in which case I might be able to use this piece as is. You need the white backing or some sort of backing. Oh yes, you need the backing. So let's just have a little play with this. Let's see if I can just run some tape on either side of this. Okay, let's give it a go. I'm not going to use tape, I'm just going to use my thing here. Like so, and so there, like that. Oh, have I made it too narrow now? I have. Okay, see, I told you it was a mistake doing it this way, didn't I? Okay, so I need to make this bigger or use a little bit less glue. So let's create another piece that's going to go there. Shh, quiet, Cassie. Okay, so I feel like I want to put that right in the front with an aperture. So let me find my dies, which are right here, and see what we can do. So what size did I use? I used a smaller one than that. So I reckon let's sort of work backwards. This could be a mistake. So this is my front. And it might be that I change that altogether, but let's just see if we can make it work. Do I want it bigger than that? No, I don't think I do. I can always make it bigger if I need it. And just grab my machine. And I'm sure there are better ways to do this than the way that I'm doing it. I've seen some quite complicated ways, and I really don't like to do complicated, as you know. So let's grab this one with the smaller aperture. So my finished piece wants to be no wider than that, it wants to be slightly smaller. So this measures, let's say 8 centimeters. So let's grab a piece of white card. Cut it to 16. Find the trimmer. And the height is about 11, so let's cut it 11 first. By 16. And I'm going to score that at 8. Like so. Let's see. Okay, so this is the one that I'm going to do the aperture in, to do the front and the back. If I can get it open. Okay, so this is going to go on there, and with an aperture, and that's going to go on top. So the question is, do I need that piece behind? Am I being completely thick? I don't think I do. I do want to put it on a card. The ones I've seen are all just separate so they don't stand. But you know me, I do like mine to stand up. So I'm going to cut it. Hi Carol, thanks for watching. know how you're sort of thinking, is it too obvious what I'm doing? I just want a piece in the middle, don't I? That's going to go either side off. So I do need a little notch in here and possibly a notch in there as well. So let's put that on there. Now I'm not sure if my punch is going to go through both of those. No, but I've marked it enough. Right, there's one. Oh, it was nearly there, it's just that very little edge. Okay. I'm going to try this just with one piece. There's probably a really, really good reason. But maybe because I'm putting it on a card, I've got an extra bit to play with. I don't know. Who knows? Okay. So it can go on there. Probably with dimensionals in at least one of the layers, and then this just needs to go either side of this piece, doesn't it? Right, get rid of that glue dot now I've got it connected. Okay. So I'm thinking this goes on here, right on the edge. This goes on top, like so, and then once that's attached, I can just pull that up. Okay, right. Which way am I going to do it, and am I going to stamp something in here so that when you pull that up, you've got a sentiment? Okay, so there's our red piece that's going to go on top, like so. I might make this narrower. Can't go narrower than that circle though. I'm just wondering to stamp something in there, because when you've lifted that up, it'll be there, won't it? If I make it shorter, does that work? Yeah. Trim a little bit of that off, and then I'm going to stamp a message in here. So let's pop that on with a little bit of tape. I think like a bit of thinking on the spot. Alright, so I want it like that. This piece is going to go on there, like so. So I'm just going to stamp something at the bottom. Now it really might not work. Let's do for you something small. Okay. We have progress of sorts. Thank you for being so patient with me while I faff around, for want of a better description. So I'm just going to stamp for you here. Try not to get ink on my card. For you. Okay, so you will see that like so, and then when you print it up, yeah, okay. Right, I'm nearly there. I'm going to trim it just a little bit this off so that you don't have to pull it quite well. Won't make any difference how far you pull it, will it? Let's grab my trimmer. This could end up being how not to do it, of course. Let's just take a centimetre off that. And a centimetre off that one. Like so. Right, and then I'm going to pop this up. Problem is, I can't really have. I'm just thinking about where my dimensionals are going to go. Wonder if I can make that narrower. Wonder if to make that circle smaller. Do I need to? Do you know, it might just work. Okay, so there's one other thing that I want to do, and that's add a little, is to add a stopper to stop this coming right the way out. But, do you know what? Life's too short. Okay, let's just give it a go. So I'm going to have a very narrow amount of glue along here. Half a circle out to the bottom of the moving piece. Half a circle out of here. Do you mean cap? Right. Okay. I think this could be narrower. Hold your horses, folks. As long as it's wider than this piece. Oh, I see, so it shows the sentiment. Well, it'll show it when it's in place, won't it? If I put that over there. Like that. Oh, that was lucky. I didn't think about that when I stamped it, did I? Okay, let's just, what I'm going to do is measure this circle, which is about 6 centimetres. This measures 8, so I'm just going to take off half a centimetre. This is not going to be the best ever example of it. Go. That gives me a bit more to play with. So I just need to work out how this has got to fit. So I've got to be able to slide this over. Oh, I shouldn't have made it so small. Oh yes, that's true, and I could, yes, seal up a little bit of that. But I think now I've made that too narrow. Or have I? It's only got to fit it at the bottom. So normally my videos are half an hour. Door to door. Okay. I wonder if I just attach it at the bottom, whether that will work. And then you've got that. Okay. Let's try it. Pencil. I don't know that this is the best way to create it, but I wanted it on a card. So I will have achieved that, I think. I hope. Yes, okay. Right. That's fixed at the bottom. So that this will sit either side of my flap here. Ta-da! Ta-da! This is going to go on the top to hide all of the gubbins. So maybe I shouldn't have done red there. I could put another one on the top. Well, we're sort of there, aren't we? And I'm going to put this on with dimensionals so it doesn't flatten that. Yeah. And I've just put one more thing. So on here I can decorate the front. So shall I put loads of rainbows on? What do you think? Or shall I just put a sentiment? I hope your day is filled with sunshine and rainbows isn't going to fit on my little panel. I don't think. But okay, I've got that idea. That one's going to work. So what I'm going to do is stamp that and chop it into pieces and put it up on the front. Let's see. Right, Pebble Path. Hello, Diane. Nice to have you join us. I hope you've had a reasonable day. So I hope your day is filled with sunshine and rainbows. Okay, so what I'm going to do is chop that up. Hope your day is filled with sunshine and rainbows. Decorate the front. This is going to go on here. That's fixed at the bottom. I'm happy with that. This is going to go on with dimensionals just along the edge. Oh, you've been in, oh yes, you did tell me you're going to London with your daughter. I hope you've had a great day. So I don't like to do too long a piece. Let's just grab some scissors. Because it can sort of pull the card a little bit. So I prefer to do short strips like that. So we're doing a magic card. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those, Diane. This is not the official way to do it. This is Jenny's way to make it fit on a card. And what I need to make sure is that my panel is inside of that. Oh, how exciting! More trips to Japan. Okay. So right, we're getting there. So this has got to go there. I haven't taken all the backings off these. Yeah, great way of showing you an alternative way. I'm standing up. So I hope you can see it alright. I'm probably in my hands are in a different position altogether. Okay. That one's done. That one's done. Right, okay, take two. So I'm lining that up at the top. And I'm just pressing it gently to make sure this works. So I've got a piece of acetate uncoloured, a piece of card underneath which is coloured, and I'm going to put the coloured piece behind, the acetate in front. Yay! Okay. So if I lift this up, there it is. Oh, I've got loads of space. I needn't have used those things. Now I've got a little idea for this as well, which is punch a little white circle and attach it to here so that you can see, you can grab it, you don't have to worry about it sort of disappearing in. Does that make any sense? So I'm just going to put it in front. In front or behind? Behind. So I'm just going to put some glue on there. Oops, daisy. Okay, so this is just a 1-inch circle, but if you've got the Stylish Shapes dies, you can use the small die for that. And I'm just doing that as a contrast so that you can see it. And I have a little bit too much glue there. Okay, so this one I'm going to chop up, put on the front, and I would maybe put a stop on this by having a slightly wider piece across the bottom, and putting a little bit of tape or card across there so that it can't go any further. But do you know what? I've taken enough of your time as it is. So I'm just going to hand cut this. Ooh. Oh, I want it a bit straighter than that, but never mind. I will show you what it's going to look like, and then I might do another one. So I hope your day. This is what you can do when your sentiment doesn't fit. Just keep it tidier than I've done. Is filled with and I'm just going to use rainbows. Hope your day is filled with rainbows. It does say sunshine and rainbows. But I think we can have just rainbows. What do you think? Hello, Brenda. So, we got there in the end. So here's my panel. I'm sure I've done a magic card with you, Brenda, in the past. I'm sure I have. Can't remember when I would have done it though, but okay. That's going to go on one side. It's going to go in the front. Eureka! Okay. So, given that I'm going to stamp that again and cut it properly, I hope your day is filled with rainbows. Oh, good. And then we've got our coloured rainbow up here. And I guess you could have that coming out the side as well. If you stamped it that way round, you could have your rainbow that way. Don't think it really matters. But I've made a card that stands up, and that is a magic card. So I will redo this one here because that looks a bit naff. But the sentiment didn't fit, so if ever you have a sentiment like that that's too big, then just stamp it, depending on the style of course, and then just cut it up. And I've taken out the sunshine. Thank you, Jeanette. So there we are. There's our finished card. I will tidy it up, I promise, but here's the mechanism working, like so. And you can put that back. Magic. Actually, yeah, you can sit that right in, because I've got that little piece sticking up. You can put that right back in. So there we are. I hope you like it. Whew. A magic card with a rather long-winded way, but we got there. I achieved what I wanted to achieve, which was it on a card and not as a complicated separate piece that didn't stand up. So fingers crossed that will do the job. I hope you like it. I do actually have some more examples with this, so you never know, I might nip on live tomorrow and do a few more. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Lynn. We got there, and say longer than I intended, but it reminds me of how one way to make a magic card, though I've never done it this way, I'm sure. But hopefully maybe you'll give it a go and see. So you just need to start with the piece of acetate and a card where it's stamped in the same place. That's the secret. And then a piece of card that it will go either side of, and an aperture for you to see through. So thank you so much everybody, have a great evening. I will just finish that sentiment properly so that you can see it, but a little bit of fun. I'm desperately trying to think what we had for our magic card, but I tell you what would be fun would be the beer, the set that we used a couple of weeks ago, and you can have it full and empty. That would be really good fun, wouldn't it? Anyway, thank you so much everyone. Do take care. I appreciate you joining me. For me it's this evening, but depending on where you're watching from and when, it could be any time of day. So thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed our stamp set of the week, Just My Type. There will be 4 videos on YouTube, and you can just look for my playlist that's called Stamp Set of the Week, and you can also see a playlist for the current catalogue, so that's called Annual Catalogue, and also a playlist for Coffee and Card. Thank you so much everyone. I'll finish that off and post a photo later this evening. Take care. Bye for now.